Tonight, another heartfelt memorial grows. This one outside Minneapolis's Annunciation Catholic Church. One day after a shooter opened fire on innocent children, their teachers, and others as they prayed inside a house of worship. 2 children were killed, 18 others were injured.
Sadly, it's a reminder of the pain and grief deeply felt here in our own community. March 27, 2023, when a gunman killed 3 students and 3 staff members at the Covenant School in Green Hills.
Sadly, we all know it didn't end there. The first deadly school shooting of this year, 2025, also right in our own backyard, January 22nd, when Diana Escalante was shot and killed in the cafeteria of Antioch High School. Tonight, the striking similarities among all 3 of the people accused of pulling the trigger. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Kelsey Gibbs. Investigators in Minneapolis say they're still searching for a motive, but for some in Nashville, yesterday was a flashback to a tragedy we've seen far too often. News Channel 5's investigative reporter Levi Ismail has been poring over the shooter's writings and videos.
Yeah, Levi, you're taking a closer look at the details that really do connect what we faced here in this latest shooting in Minnesota, right?
Absolutely. You know, we can't forget that no matter the circumstances and similarities we found, the most important is that innocent people lost their lives. This is about understanding how we got here and what it might take to stop these tragedies before they happen.
Minneapolis police called it a deliberate act of violence against innocent children. 2 children are dead, 2 others in critical condition, and more than a dozen were injured in the hail of gunfire Wednesday morning.
Peace, love, unity, and guns.
The shooter, 23-year-old Robin Westman, who was born Robert, posted now since deleted videos online less than an hour before pointing a gun into Annunciation Catholic Church and opening fire on unsuspecting kids.
I'm sorry to my family, but that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to. Those kids.
You know, we keep saying again, when will it stop? And so I think it's that. Just for me, it's a very deep frustration.
It's frustration that Lauren Martin says often feels overwhelming as a parent, but as a licensed therapist, she's also called to try and understand. She says what she saw in Westman's writings almost mirror some of the same hopelessness, hate, and loneliness she's seen written by some of the most talked about school shooters in recent memory who happen to be from Nashville. Solomon Henderson, the Antioch school shooter, and Audrey Hale, the Covenant school shooter.
We're not trying to measure anybody's level of suffering or try to say that this one is worse than the other, but it's the idea of this is a recurring issue and it hasn't stopped.
Their writings alone showed all 3 idolized school shooters while they planned their attacks for weeks, if not months. All 3 either attended or once attended the schools they attacked, and all 3 went to great lengths to document as much as they could leading up to the day they ended lives, including their own.
Here's my note to my family.
What may have set Westman apart is this letter, which Martin said read more like a suicide note than a manifesto, telling her parents that they didn't fail her and that family and friends should forget her.
That's what's really surprising to me, is that this did not read like somebody that was out to kill.
In contrast, both Henderson and Hale described poor and even abusive relationships with their parents. But Martin says it's not uncommon for someone like Westman to write what they believe the reader will want to hear while harboring far more deadly intentions. Westman's arsenal included hate-filled rhetoric and anti-Semitic messages written on virtually each firearm, not unlike the hate that filled pages of Henderson's 288-page diary. While Hale may not have shared the same exact feelings, all 3 appear to be at odds with either their race or the gender they were assigned at birth. Toward the end, they all described spiraling out of control and losing faith in a world they felt could never understand their pain. Martin says if we're searching for solutions, then how these 3 still had access to firearms has to be a part of the conversation.
I'm not saying that that justifies anything that happened or anything that any harm that one has done. But that is a vulnerability factor that if unaddressed, if unmanaged, again, plus access will lead to more violence.
Now, it's not clear if there was a history of mental health issues with the Minneapolis school shooter. We expect to hear more about those details as the FBI continues their investigation. In the meantime, Martin says if you do notice any unusual behavior with someone you care about, it's okay to ask questions and be direct. It may not feel comfortable, but at least it helps them to open up with that conversation. With News Channel 5 Investigates, I'm Levi Ismail.